Welcome to the High Level Entrepreneur, a podcast with me, Joella. In today's episode, I'm going to talk about the mindset behind growing a team and outsourcing and what I specifically outsource and what I have team support for and what I do in my private life as well to have this mindset of outsourcing. All right. So, first of all, let's talk about the team structure and what made me and the process towards getting to this team structure. So, the very first team support I ever hired was actually a client success manager who originally came in to do sales and take sales meetings, but it evolved into us no longer doing sales meetings, and instead she took on the role as client success manager. And looking back, I think that at the time I had taken on clients that took a lot of time and energy, and I was also delivering, like over delivering to them and giving so much to them that I needed a client success manager to support me. But most importantly, I noticed that my clients struggled to take action, and I realized they had a lot of like mindset blocks to take action and build their brands, etc. So I wanted her to like come in and support on the mindset aspect of it all as well. Looking back, I think that was not the right move in my business at the time. Like, I think it was the wrong decision to take on a client success manager instead of focusing on restructuring my offer. And like, I'm not saying it was a bad idea to take on a client success manager, but what I really would have needed at the time was probably an assistant who also supported me with client management. All right. So I think looking back, if I had changed something, I would have instead taken on an assistant at the time to support me on client management, and maybe not the client coaching or support, but more like everything else around client management. And I probably would have had higher standards for the type of clients I took on because I was working so intimately with clients, so closely with clients. And I probably should have had higher requirements. So this process of working with these clients would have been way easier. And it wouldn't have felt like having a lot of clients at once would have felt overwhelming. So looking back, I shouldn't have taken on such a niche role in as of my first team support. That eventually ended up going away as my actual group program went away, and then I hired an actual assistant. And that was definitely one of the best things I ever did, was getting an assistant to support me on everything in the back end. Onboarding clients, creating sales pages, tags, automations, all of the back end stuff, everything I needed support with. And I had that assistant for a very long time until I felt like I needed additional support. And that kind of support was an operations manager, because I felt like I really needed someone. I felt a lot of responsibility in terms of carrying the business and making decisions and keeping track of multiple projects at once and following up with vendors, emailing with vendors. Like, I felt like, yes, I did have the assistant support, but an assistant is more of like a junior role, and it's more someone to execute tasks than taking full responsibility for projects and for project management and the business and the operations side. So I really needed someone like a second Joella to run the operations while I can focus more on sales, marketing, creating content. So I can be here right now recording a podcast episode for you guys instead of, emailing with vendors or planning events or, managing. Like currently, I'll just give an example. Currently, we're moving over from Kajabi into another program that I'm going to be using instead of Kajabi. I'm going to be leaving Kajabi, actually. And that is a whole project in itself, right? We're using a tech guy for that, but there's someone who needs to manage the actual project, right? And that is my operations manager. She's managing that project with the support of my assistant. So now I have a way higher level support, which is helping me have very low stress levels in my business because I'm getting that like I have my right hand person who takes responsibility, and that is that my team structure. And I also started working about a year ago, a little bit over a year ago, with an ad strategist who helps me with the ad strategy, runs the ads campaigns, creates the content. They're also supporting with a little bit of an extra. Her company's also supporting me with some more content and marketing stuff, like editing stuff for me. So that has been very helpful as well, because ads is also something that I don't want to do by myself. And the thing is, I, in the past, used to have a mindset of like, having a team is going to restrain me and it's going to give me less freedom, when it's actually the opposite. I'm able to do way more. I'm able to move way faster and have way bigger goals. Like, instead of thinking I don't have time for that and we have to think maybe I have time for that in May, maybe I have time for that in October, I can instead think, no, we can do that now because I have the support. So that's something that I'm very, very happy about. And I kind of have the mindset now that I'm building a business. Like, I have a very clear vision of what kind of CEO I want to be. I have a very clear vision of what kind of business I want to run and what I want to do inside of my business. So for the past year, a big priority has been to create systems and processes inside of my business. So, and also encourage my team to take away as much as possibly from me. Okay. So I really focused on getting into a space, and I'm still not fully there, but my goal is to be fully there, where I am able to kind of just show up like this, speak with you. I have to write the emails, of course, focus on the marketing and the sales, but like, that's all that I do. And in the future, maybe I do even less. And I want to be able to feel like everything that I don't need to do, I shouldn't be doing, because I have enough team support to the extent where they should support me in these areas. And if we can't find it in the team, we need to find someone who can support us. Like, me as the CEO and the leader of the business shouldn't really be sitting with like updating details in Kajabi or adding an automation or a tag or even scheduling emails. Like, anything that someone else can do, they should do. And that kind of mindset is something that I really bring into my business, because I am the most highly paid person in the business. I am the person who owns the business. I am the reason why people come into the business and buy from the business. So I am my business' strongest and most expensive asset. So that means my time needs to be spent wisely. And it doesn't make sense for me to, edit details or translate texts from one language to another, or, you know, if clients have a problem, they can contact my operations manager, who is their main customer service point of contact, and ask for help, right? And also organizing events, stuff like that. Anything that someone else can do, they should be doing. And some things don't even come to my table. So my assistant and my operations manager have meetings on their own. The tech guy who's currently helping us with the transition over to the new platform, they do that project on their own. Like, I'm only involved when I need to be involved. So things are happening in the background when I'm not even involved. And the reason why I think like this about my business is because I take my business seriously like a business. I don't think when you're at six figures, if you are still extremely operative inside of your own business, to the extent that you have maybe an assistant that supports you with podcast editing or something like that, but you're still doing all of the details, you're still running all of your ads, you're still creating all of your Canva designs, and you're still scheduling all your emails, you should be asking yourself, should I really be doing this? Like, could someone else be doing this? And If you think that someone else could be doing that while you are focusing on selling your premium offers, while you are focusing on growing, developing yourself, because I don't outsource and grow a team only to save time. I want to emphasize that. It's not only so that I save time and I have 3 extra hours in the day that I could spend doing something else. That's not the only reason, okay? It's bigger than that. One thing is I don't want to do those things. They don't excite me. Second thing is I might not even be the best person to do those things or the most talented person to do those things. The third thing is, even if it's easy, quick, scheduling an email is easy and it's quick, it's a small energy draining task that is taking me out of living in my zone of genius and reflecting and thinking about the kind of things a CEO and a leader should be thinking about and a mentor should be thinking about and reflecting on and changing and upgrading, that I'm, that's taking energy from things that my energy should be put into. So I don't think of time as something that is equal. Like time spent doing a podcast episode like this is highly valuable time spent. And even 1 minute of doing this podcast episode is highly valuable time spent. But 1 minute of scheduling an email is not valuable time spent. So all time is not equal. And if something is taking you out of, if you are doing a lot of things in your business that is taking you out of your zone of genius, but also are not tasks that are revenue generating, you're focusing on the wrong things. I talk a lot about this with my clients because my clients usually get stuck around 100K, 200K in revenue. When they come to me, they're usually stuck there because they're so operative in every single aspect of their business. All right. And that's an identity thing because they've led from their identity of I'm a doer, I'm an executor, I'm an action taker. I can do a lot of things. I've learned everything. I do the sales, I do the delivery, I do the marketing. But the truth is, when you want to scale to way bigger numbers, you have to reduce the amount you do, and especially the amount you do on non-revenue generating tasks or tasks that take you out of your zone of genius. Okay? So this kind of mindset I lead with this kind of mindset. And my long-term goal is that I am completely taken, almost completely at least, taken out of the daily operations in the business. And that's the vision and that's the goal. And I know we're not there yet, but that's the vision, that's the goal, that's the standard. And we are almost there, not completely again, but we could get there. And that's what we're working towards as a team. And that is fully possible when you have a mindset of my time is valuable. I'm an industry leader. I'm a CEO. I should be scaling and building and growing the business, not run the business. Yes, you should run the business as well, but not only run the business. All right. And this kind of mindset I also bring into my private life because I genuinely value not only my time. Once again, I'm not saying that I outsource everything in my private life so that I can work more. Sometimes that's true and sometimes it's not. But it's because I value my time so much that I do ask myself, why the heck am I even doing this if someone else could just do it? If I could just pay someone to do it. And that means I do have a cleaner who comes here. Yes, sometimes it's because while she's here, I'm working. And sometimes it's because, I might not be working, but I don't want to clean. Like, even if I'm not working more because of it, I don't want to clean. I don't like cleaning. I'm not great at it either. And I don't want to live my life and spend time doing that. So I'm not going to clean. I would also happily have a private chef. Like, it's extremely difficult to find that kind of stuff here in Italy, but I'm looking for any kind of meal delivery or like anything like that for me, or private chef thing, because I would love to have a private chef because I would probably spend less money on eating out. And I don't particularly love the options that we have for delivery here in my city in Italy. And I also don't really love cooking every time, and I don't love cleaning the kitchen. So I would love to remove that kind of stuff and only cook for joy and not because I need to. And I also have a gardener to help me with plants because I actually don't know anything about plants, and I have a terrace. I need help with the plants, all right? It's not a lot that's needed, but just when it's needed, it's needed. When I had to put a furniture together, instead of spending it would probably take me 2 days to put that furniture together. I paid someone to do it for me, right? Like, all that kind of stuff. Anything that can make me more comfortable and like decrease my stress levels, I'll happily pay for. And I always ask the question, like, should I even be doing this? Like, why am I doing this? Why couldn't I just hire someone to do that? Why couldn't I get help from someone to do that? And I think there's this mindset, especially in my country where I'm from, Sweden. I think there's especially a big mindset of like not taking help and you should be able to do everything yourself. And I actually agree that you should be able to do everything yourself. You should be independent. You should also know the ins and outs of your business. I don't really think you should outsource anything until you know what that thing is that you're outsourcing and you understand the work behind it. And then you know what it's worth. But I do believe in when you know how it works, when you try doing it, there comes a time when you're gonna have to ask for support. And I think you can also think outside the box in terms of team support. You don't have to hire the most expensive assistant or the most expensive person. There are beginners out there. There are students out there. There are people in other countries that work online. There are other ways to find team support that isn't just paying the highest hourly rate to the best person. So you can start somewhere when you have any type of team support and just start with a couple of hours per week. And then you can just grow that and increase that. Because my learning is everything I am investing in privately and professionally to get support. And even today, by the way, I had someone came over I wanted to do a blood test and ECG, like heart checking my heart. And it was just kind of for a certificate kind of thing. And they came over to my home. Like, I didn't have to go to a clinic and do it. Like, they came to my home in the morning. Like, amazing. Like, I love paying for that kind of stuff. I absolutely love paying for comfort, for time saved, for stress levels reduced. Like, I love spending my money. Like, take my money, please. Like, I love doing that. So, like, anytime I've spent money on team sport, anytime I've spent money on advisors, mentors as well, because you save so much money and time on having a mentor to guide you and avoid mistakes, avoid bad investments, avoid the wrong focus. Like, you save so much money and time. Like, I don't think we talk enough about that. And on private life stuff as well, like, when you have that kind of mindset of like, I am willing to pay for anything that saves me time, money, and energy, and allows me to live and work from my zone of genius as much as I possibly can, and challenge myself and push myself, not in areas that are completely inefficient for me, but in within areas that are within my zone of genius, like I would rather suffer through personal development or suffer through, you know, improving my marketing or scaling or upgrading my identity or whatever it is, like than suffering through the process of shifting from one platform to another platform, right? Like, I'm not saying I don't believe in hard work or putting in time or effort into your business, but I believe that you need to have the right focus and put that kind of, you should be challenged in the right areas. Like, I would rather take a course like I did in the fall. I took a course to improve my skills, my own coaching skills. And that was like a 4-week course where I spent on average 10 hours per week on this course. And that was a lot of time, right? But that was like time and focus and energy and money well spent because I improved, right? I would much rather put my money and time and energy into that than cleaning my house or doing automations in the back end or scheduling my emails. And I really think I like that's why my business is where it is, because I have this mindset of like, I am not the kind of person who is going to be only running a business. I'm not the kind of person who's like an employee inside my business. And that's kind of what the CEO mindset is. I think a lot of people talk about CEO mindset these days, but don't understand what it is. Like, having a CEO mindset doesn't just mean that you take your business seriously as a from a vision standpoint, but from a standpoint of like, I take my business seriously, so I'm not sitting in Kajabi scheduling emails, or I'm not doing fixing my own tech issues, or editing all of my own stuff. I actually invest into support privately and professionally, so I truly can live from CEO mindset and truly run the business as a real CEO and not as like a CEO mindset kind of thing, but like real CEO mindset and behavior and decision making. And I don't see enough entrepreneurs think like this and act like this. Like, I really don't see it. I see people taking their sales seriously. I see people taking their marketing seriously, but I don't really see people taking their business seriously and actually wanting to be CEOs, actually wanting to grow and scale their businesses like a CEO does. They think it's enough with like, if I just learn how to sell more through content or something like that. But it's like, no, it's all of your decisions, it's your investments, it's what you put your energy, time, and money on. And you should be the CEO. You're probably also the person who delivers the services and works with clients. But then if you're also doing that and you're the CEO, how much more can you really take on privately and professionally? Why are you running 10 different departments as well as your private life? And probably maybe you have kids and a family as well, and running that whole operation. So I want you to have more of an outsourcing mindset, because an outsourcing mindset is a CEO mindset. Okay. Thank you for listening to today's episode. I'll talk to you next week.